Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Thursday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Let's try this again. Let's try this one more time. As you're joining me live, let me know you're here. I apologize. We thought we had it on. We really did. I swear we thought we had it on.
Did we
Oh,
get it?
I have no idea. Let's see. PK, talk to me. Am I the wrong direction or are you? I feel like you're upside down to me. Okay, let me turn my phone around. Okay, do you see me?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you look fine.
Okay, you look good to me too. So let's go. Hey, Carol, how are you? Welcome. PK, let's do this. So let's take two. As you're joining us live, let us know you're here. If this is the first time you're joining me in my lives, my name is Sean Azimi, and I've been going lives since January 1st, 2019, every day. And I added this hashtag Thursdays with Sean just to bring in somebody else that has a really like a story to tell, like their life story has a message in there, and it's inspiring, and I think it's gonna move you. Today I have with me my dear friend Tina. I've known Tina since 2005. It's been a long time. We lost touch somewhere in here, and now we're back here on this live. Yeah, 2005, right?
Yep. Yeah.
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 So let's get started with you and your story. I'm gonna look over here with my questions. One, let's get right into it. Who is Tina Matinpour? Like, talk about where you're from, your family, occupation, education, that.
So I was born in Iran, and I moved here with my family when at the age of 3. I was raised here with my brother, and he's about 2.5 years younger than me. We were raised in Orange County, Newport Beach, Irvine. Um, I went to college, and then I went and got my MBA. I worked at the Irvine company for, like 10 years. And then I hopped around different jobs, I guess. I became an assistant for the Mirage family, which was the Hot Pockets inventor.
No
And
way. Nice.
yeah, so they're a great family. So I was privileged enough to work with them. And then and then everything else happened, and then I'm here now. And so now I have my brother, and he has 2 kids, and
No
my mom and
way. He
dad.
has 2 kids?
He has 2 kids. He has
What?
a boy, Dean, and a little girl, Kennedy. And Kennedy is just so cute. She's just the most precious little thing. She's adorable.
Okay. So what do you do now? What kind of work do you do now?
So now I'm the chief operating officer at Newport Care Medical Group, and I've been there for the past 5 years. I started there, and I just grew my way to the top. Kind of. It's a very good place to work, and I'm so honored and privileged to work there. I've had so many great experiences there, and I'm learning so much every day as I'm there. Everything I've learned part of it has been through there, so it's great. And I'm
Awesome.
also taking on another business where I'm helping other women become empowered and live their truth and step into their light and help others shine just like them. And that's with a product that it's like the holy grail of skincare right now. For me, So it's, you know what it is. I was surprised that you
Crazy,
knew what it was.
crazy,
Like, I
crazy.
love it. So, so I'm doing that as well.
Small world, huh?
Very small. I was like, what? Because now I
Yeah,
see it everywhere I go. Even my dog is taking the collagen.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's it. We gotta, it's amazing.
Hi, Carolyn. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So, all right, let's go from there. Have you traveled any place that you could say, "Oh my God, I got to go back here. This place, I really got to go back."
There's a lot of places I have to go back to, but there's a lot of places I want to go to. Like, I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to Dubai. I want to go back to, France. I want to go to Spain, Portugal. I want to go to Antarctica. I want to go to the South Pole. I want to go to places that you're not allowed to go to, prohibited areas, because I just want to see what's there. Because I know what's there, and I'm not going to go to Chernobyl or anything, but other places.
That's cool. That's cool. So I have a surprise guest for you. That's she says she actually knows you from high school. Her name is Mimi. I know you don't see the comments and you don't see who joined in, but Mimi says she knows you from high school. And she's on,
Oh,
she's excited to see her. She was
oh,
all excited
hi. Tell her
yesterday, yeah, and the day
hi.
before. Yeah, yeah, so for sure.
That's so exciting.
From college, not high school, my bad, from college. Yeah, from, what was it, not high school, from college. Yeah, yeah.
Got it. Got it.
So, all right, so are you a reader? Are you reading any books or anything in the future that you're excited about?
I'm reading a lot. So I'm currently reading more on quantum physics. I'm very much into human behavior and analyzing how everything works. I'm very much into the mindset in your brain. So I've become a very good people reader, analysis, and understanding. So I'm very much into understanding how the mind works and behaviors, and be able to help people get better. So I'm pretty much learning that, reading that. But I've been reading a lot on Dolores Cannon, her books, Death and Life After Death, um, the Custodians. So many different books that I've been reading, but I have a very eccentric taste on reading. It's not Style magazine or anything like that.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So she says she knows you as you know her as Mernouche Arrivé. Mernouche Arrivé.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
there you go. So there you go.
I know who she is. I know who she is.
Yeah, yeah. So she was really excited about this.
Oh, I'm
As soon
so
as I posted
excited.
it, she goes, "Oh my God, I know Tina." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what a small world." Small world. So yeah, she's excited. All right. So I know you've had a major turn in life as a result of an accident. But before we get into that, because I'm really excited to talk about that. What were you like before the accident? What was Tina like pre-accident?
Tina برم pre-accident.
Yeah, for sure.
قربونش برم
That's funny.
حیوانی. She was so codependent.
That's so funny.
She always needed to do something with someone. I need to go to the bathroom. You want to go with me? What do you mean? Can you go with me? Like, that's the person I was.
Really?
Very codependent. And I definitely really into dating and finding the guy that I wanted to marry and having that happily ever after. So that was Tina. So that's what she wanted from the very beginning. I just want to grow up and get married, and that's it.
Got it.
And live.
She says, you look gorgeous, by the way. I got to
Oh,
read off the comments because you don't see them, huh?
no.
Yeah, you don't see the comments. Okay. So, all right. Are you ready to talk about the night? Are you
Yeah, I'm
talking about
ready.
the accident? Yeah. Let's go. The floor is yours.
So, what do you want me to start with?
Um, so what happened that night that changed the entire, I could arguably say the entire course of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for those of us that know, and I didn't know for the longest time until you sent me that clip, and blown away. Um, so yeah, just whatever you want to share before to get to that point, and then during and after, and then we'll get into more details.
Okay, so again, the girl that I used to be, always just wanted to get married and have a happily ever after. And um, finally, she finds the one. She finds him. And like head over heels, the most amazing man ever. Like, even to this day, I'm just like, wow, such a good person, such a good human being. And he was very handsome, tall, blue, like these crazy blue eyes, and very built, knew how to talk, just was just everything I ever wanted. And we dated for about almost 4, well, when everything happened was 4, but we dated, and then after, I believe, 2 years, he proposed, and we got engaged at the Peninsula Hotel. And I had no idea. He sent, he surprised me, sent a limo. We went down there, and he kept trying to get me out of the hotel so we could go for a walk. And I'm like, I don't want to walk. I want to sleep. I'm tired. So he's trying to get me out of the room. Long story short, we came back to the room, and he had flowers everywhere, and he proposed. So that was like, that's it. That's it. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. We had planned our wedding. We were going to get married in Mexico, in uh, Puerto Vallarta, and we had booked the hotel, and I'd bought my wedding dress. The bridesmaids that I had bought their dresses, so everything was ready to go. I was making the gifts that I was going to give to all my bridesmaids, and I was going to be ordering their gift bags and all the toiletry that I wanted to have my bridesmaids to have. So it was like very exciting times in my life at that time. And every Friday night was our date night. So it was just like clockwork. Every Friday I would leave so we could hit happy hour at our favorite sushi place, and we would do happy hour at 5 o'clock, and then go home around 7:30, 8 or 9, whatever. And we would always take a cab. I don't think there was Uber then, so there's no Uber then. So we would always cab. So, but this night, and I'm going to preface it by saying that I don't remember any of this. So, what I'm telling you now is what I've heard from people, and through my own digging and figuring it out, that I can tell you this part. So, the incident that happened was on Friday, February. It was Friday, May 17th, and it was a typical date night. And but I don't remember it. The last thing I remember is the Wednesday. I barely even remember that Wednesday. So everything from Tuesday after is blocked out. I don't know what the hell happened. No clue. And so what I've been told is it was date night, and my neighbors saw me, and I guess I said hi to her, and we talked, and we went wine tasting somewhere, and then we went to a different sushi restaurant that we typically never go to. We always go to the same exact sushi restaurant, but this time, for some reason, no. Went to this other one, and we ate sushi there, and then I guess we were leaving, and we left, and pulling out of the parking lot, uh, you have to make a left and go. And apparently Tyler was going really fast. I think he was going over 100 miles per hour, and it's right where the Eris Hotel is, and the 73 or the 55 where it, and we made a left, and I guess the car was going so fast it spun out of control and crashed into the tree at the Eris Hotel, the tree broke on top of the car. And at that moment, everything changed. And apparently there was a wedding going on. And at the wedding, people ran out. And I still, reach out to, and sometimes they reach out to me, the people at the wedding. And they remember because that was like the day I believe their kids were getting married. So, so they always remember that as that day. And so Tyler he didn't make it. The tree had crushed him. It had like just gone on top of him, and they had to get the jaws of life to get me out. And by the time they got me out, they realized that everything on the left side of my body was crushed, and my left lung had been punctured and had collapsed, and 8 of my ribs were broken. The entire left side, my body was shattered, and they had to take me. They didn't know if I was going to make it or not, and they had to call my parents and tell my parents, because on my driver's license it was my parents' address. So they had to call my parents and tell my parents what had happened. So of course, my parents were not home this time. They had gone on vacation with their friends to Mexico. So what happens? Our neighbors saw the cops at the house, and somehow I guess they had asked, oh, do you know where the people that live here are? And they said that they went out of the country, and they had told them what had happened. They called my dad. My parents like jetted back. And when they got to the hospital, they were basically told, this is what we found. This is her. She's in ICU. We don't know if she's going to make it. They had to give me a trach, and they said, we'll see what happens. So I couldn't breathe on my own. So I was in intensive care for the ICU unit for about a month. And my brother was in med school at that time, and so he flew back to watch me, making sure I was okay. And my uncle, who is a pulmonologist, came down from Rancho Mirage to look at me because my lung had punctured, and he is a lung specialist. So it wasn't looking good. And they said, okay, the last resort we have is we have to put her on the rotaprone bed. And the rotaprone bed is the bed that they put you on. That's like, this is it. Like, either you're going to make it or you're not going to make it. And this is, the failure rate of this bed is in the high 80s. So the chances of you making it is like, chance baby like, it's one of those. And they basically lock you up, kind of like tether you around this bed, and the bed kind of rotates you 360 and holds you at those angles so it can get your lungs to try and work on its own, because my lungs weren't working.
Wow.
So, and I just imagine, I'm just thinking, oh, my poor parents, like, oh my goodness, like, that's awful. I'm just thinking what they were going to go through. And, but it happened. I made it. And they told my parents, okay, if she makes it, she's not going to be the same girl. She's going to probably won't be able to walk. She probably will not be able to do much of anything because she is probably really damaged. Like, how can we don't really see anything happening. So my dad was already in the thought of, okay, we're going to sell our house. We're going to have 1 bedroom. Maybe I'll teach her how to play piano. Like, thinking of things that I can do, because he's like, I'm going to be with this kid who's not going to be able to do anything. How am I going to help her? And so they're already thinking of things that are happening. They start seeing a therapist because they're like, what the freaking A is going on? Like, our daughter was about to get married, and now, like, her life is basically almost over, and her fiance's, gone, and we don't know what the hell's going to happen. How are we going to survive? What are we going to do? So when
What
I
you've
came out
gone
of the,
through
go ahead.
she says what you've gone through is terrible. I'm sorry.
Who said this?
Mimi, Mahmoud.
Oh, you. And so, I mean, it was not I would never, ever, ever. This was, now that I look back and, I wanted to, I do interviews and I do talks because I want people to learn, but, this is just something that was the worst thing when I look back that could have ever happened to me.
Hi,
Like, if
Ryan
you ever,
John. Welcome. Keep going. Sorry.
like if, well, in your life, you're like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like that. So that is the worst thing that could have happened because my biggest fear was being alone.
Hmm.
And that had happened. And the trajectory that it took for the whole recovery, the healing, the trying to get back to life, like what is life now? Why did this happen to me? Why me? I'm such a good person. Why did this happen to me? Man, like why? Like there's you go in your mind, you're like, there's so many other people that do so much worse than I've ever done, and look, they're living their life. But me, badbachte bichare, this happens too. And I didn't even do anything. You become the victim because you're like, that's all I ever wanted. And now it's like, okay, sorry, buddy, you got to start all over again. And you're like, what? I found everything I ever wanted. I was about to get married. I bought my wedding dress. And then you're like, nah, you have to start all over again. That's literally what I felt like. I was like, oh, hell no. Dobore. And starting all over again was even harder because, of course, you have to go through all these things. But one of the biggest thoughts that was going through my head when I was thinking, oh my God, I have to date again, is they're going to be like, who is she that she's like single at this age? She probably has problems. Because, of course, being Persian, you are brought up that دیگه ترشیدی عزیزم. ترشید. تو 23 سالته هنوزم ازدواج نکردی ببخشید.
She says, I'm sorry for the loss of your loved one. Glad you are okay and doing well. Wait, am I sideways? I don't know. Keep going. Okay.
So yeah, so
Torshidi, huh?
She?
Torshidi,
Yeah, that's what it was. So I was like, great, I'm Torshida too. I'm like, so you go into not only like trying to, you don't, again, let me go back a little bit. I didn't remember anything when I came out of my, I mean, they told me to put colors together and, boxes together, like circles, like little kid stuff. Like kids
so
have to
what
put,
was recovery like? You just get into that recovery like, yeah.
So recovery was
mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically.
So the physical part I'll start with because I'm so blessed that nothing happened to me.
I thought you said the half of your body.
So yeah, so half of my body,
the left
was
side,
shattered.
That's a lot happening.
Yeah, so shattered.
So what
I'm saying is I healed.
Oh, so I see.
There is nothing. I have no surgeries.
Oh wow.
The biggest thing I have is my trach scar and a feeding tube scar that I have on my stomach. From that crazy accident to just only have these two, it's a miracle. Like like when you look at the pictures, when you know what you've gone through, and when people who were there, which I'll get to, and see you now, there's like, what? So obviously something was out there to save me because it wasn't my time. And
you think?
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Like think? The amount of glass that had shattered.
My goodness.
Like, and nothing cut me. Like Vaughan, like that's like, so there's a reason.
I know you made the news.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how many people knew about this. people that I don't even know my story. And I mean, they know it, but it's a little bit twisted where it's like, oh, we heard you got into an accident at Corona. Something, you know, they have like places wrong, but the gist of it they have. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize. But I'm glad that they recognize, because it just shows that just because that happened doesn't mean that that's it. Throw in the towel, we're done. No, that means, all right, to be continued.
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about that recovery and what was
The
that
recovery,
was
so we have
like.
to, when you go to recovery, I had to learn how to walk. I had to learn how to go up the stairs. I had to learn how to eat. I had to learn how to talk. I couldn't say words. So they would show me a spoon and they would say, what is this? And I'm like, the thing you eat with. Okay, yeah, but what's the word?
You can think of the word?
I couldn't think of the word. But the funny thing is I could say it in Farsi. I'm like, oh, it's a qashuk. And they're like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, you know, the thing you eat with.
That's
And they're
fun.
like, no, what is it in English? I'm like, I don't know.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, so a lot of words I forgot. I couldn't put sentences together. I, I had a lot of that part of learning how to talk again, speak. I think a lot of it still now, you can, people say, oh, I can see a little bit of a difference because sometimes you hesitate to speak or you'll pause for a minute. And I'm thinking, no, I'm doing that because I'm thinking. I'm a little bit smarter now than I was before. I used to just talk my mouth. Now I'm like, pause, let me think before I talk. But, learning how to walk again. And I think this is the most proud I am of myself, because I remember I was going to go to rehab, and in the rehab, they teach you, how to walk again, how to, do your exercises, how to get your brain to work, how to, do the typical things that everyone does every day that they just take for granted, that you forget that you can do. And I had to relearn it all again. And I remember the first week I went, and, you know, my parents would drop me off because I didn't drive. And my mom's like, oh, how was it? And I'm like, good. I'm like, yeah, they're teaching me how to walk, and, I'm doing it. And I'm like, yeah, but I think next week I'm going to take my heels. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm going to take my heels. I go, I don't do flats. I go, I'm not going to do that. She goes, I'm like, yeah. So I took my heels the second week and I gave it to them and I said, okay, so now I want you to teach me how to walk in my heels. And they're like, no,
I
it's
love
not.
it.
It's too dangerous for you. And
I
I'm like,
love
what?
it.
I'm like, I'll hold on to the rails, bro. Like, let's go. I go, I don't do flats. I said, so they thought I was crazy, which I was like, hope to get, I'm crazy. I don't do flats. Let's do it. And I did it. And
Good for
that was
you.
my determination that I'm like, I have to. Like, that's not me. And I had to get back to who I was. And that was just one thing I remember in the beginning that happened, that when I started walking in my heels, I was like, okay, I can do anything then. And right after, I went back to work. I went back to work because I didn't, if I didn't, all I would do is Google myself and find out what happened.
Oh,
And just
wow.
dive into it. It became like an addiction because I couldn't remember what happened. I didn't know what happened.
Wow.
I still don't remember what happened.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like from Wednesday,
Oh, that's kind of
so the
interesting.
last things I remember of my life before was May 15th, 2013. I don't remember anything after that.
For 30, basically 2 days.
Yep. And I didn't have my full memory because when I came to, I didn't realize I didn't even know what had happened. I just remember my mom going, you're okay, you're in the hospital, you got into a car accident, but everything is okay. And I remember the first thing thinking, was it my fault? That was the initial reaction I had, was it my fault? They're like, no, it's not your fault. I'm like, okay. And that's it. And when you come out of a coma, you're such a child. You're very simple, very sade. هرچی میگفتن you'd be like, okay, oh, okay. You can fly, okay. You can sit down, okay. The sky is blue, okay. You know, whatever. So when they start trying to test you and say how good you're going to be able to get, they did it right after you come out of a coma, which I think is really ridiculous because I don't remember even coming out of the coma. Like coming out of the coma, I don't remember, but I remember a week later that I started remembering. So within that time, I wasn't there. I wasn't in my body. It was the body's reactatory system that was behaving. Because I had left my body. I was gone. And I had an out of body experience. And I saw everything that happened from above. I saw my parents there. I saw my friends there. I saw Tyler, and I didn't want to leave, and I just wanted to stay with him. And he kept saying, no, you have to go back. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back. Well, I don't want to go back. He's like, you have to go back. You have to go back. Go back. And he was so adamant. He's like, he's like, you don't remember, but you need to go back. Go back.
So you could hear him and see him in your coma?
Yeah, I was with him. So when I was in that coma, my body was in the coma. I was gone. I left. And so I was in the, like on the other side, and I didn't want to leave. Not on the other side yet, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay. I didn't want to go back here. And he's like, nope, you gotta go back. You can stay. Obviously, you have a choice, but you know, we highly recommend you go back. So, you know, I came back, and now I know why. But yeah, it was very, 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 very hard because there were days and times that, you know, when you're coming out of a coma, from what my mom told me, I became addicted to the drugs that I was on, that to keep me in the coma, that when they tried to take me out of the coma, I had relapses, and they had to keep pumping me back with the drugs because my body couldn't handle it. Like it needed it. And so I was like, oh, great. So I was in a coma and you made me a drug addict too. Great. Good job. So I just find that comical, but not on the funny part, because after all of this happened and, you know, the emotions start coming back and you have to start, you know, dealing with life. It gets very hard, and it gets to the point where you are by yourself, because no matter how much people want to say that they're there for you, yeah, they're there for you. Like, you know, they feel sorry for you. They feel yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. But when you go home and you go to the bathroom and you're by yourself and you're sitting there crying, it's just you. And I remember crying so hard and going, why? And like, you know, I started doing drugs because I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle the depression. I couldn't handle being so depressed. I wanted to at least be a little bit happy. Like I couldn't handle it anymore. And so I started to do coke a lot. And my parents caught me, and we, you know, had an intervention. So, you know, that worked out well. But I mean, you know, things like that do happen, and it's the reality, because I could have gone down a really bad path. Because when I said to my parents, fine, I won't do it anymore, there's so many people that say, fine, I won't do it anymore, and then they're doing it more. But that was the point in my life when I was like, Tina, this is like, okay, you know, shit happened. It sucks. Life really sucks right now. You're doing drugs all the time. Your parents basically found out at a wedding. And what are you going to do the rest of your life? Like, this is it? And I realized like I have to be better. And I have to realize that this happened to me. There's a reason it happened to me. And I know that there's something even better that's going to come out of it. Like, it just didn't make logical sense that I could have everything that I've ever wanted, and then it goes, okay, sorry, buddy, let's start all over again. No, there's a bigger reason, and I found it because my life is not to be like everybody else's life that gets married and has kids, and then their kids grow up and get married and have more kids, and then you repeat the cycle over and over and over again. My position here is I'm now here to fight for you and be your support, your person to do this for you, because I don't have kids. I don't have that, and that's okay because I'm here to fight for the underdog. Empower women, empower men, and let them know what their true power is and to stand in it and become a better version of themselves. Because if this did not happen to me, I would not be the person I am today. I am a very, very confident person now. There is nothing anyone can ever say that will make me flinch. I don't like the worst things have happened to me. And not just with the tragedy that happened with Tyler, but after that happened, everything else decided to go haywire too. People kept dying left and right. My grandparents died. My uncle died. My aunt died. My dog ran, my dog. Then people, then I got enemies left and right, discrediting my, I can't even say the word, defamation, something like that, of your name,
Defamation.
Yes, that word. Defamation. I can't say the word. Try and take down your credibility. And when the best thing I have going for me is my integrity, that this is what you get. If I said something about you to someone else, I'll say it to your face. There's nothing wrong. So if I said it to them, I'll say it to you. So because you have to be real.
So who are you now as a result of that accident, since you're walking right into that? So who's Tina now, today? And Carolyn, by the way, says, I'm so happy. You are so strong. And I'm lucky to have met you. I'm sorry, I'm reading this like sideways.
Oh, it's okay.
That's why I can't like, what an amazing, strong woman with a family that wouldn't let you slip away. I know the family, that they're tight. Yeah.
And I think to my parents, I'm like, Voran, you guys got dealt a hard card. You got me for a daughter. Because I'm in my face, my everything is a rarity, because the rarity is what matters. You have to be unique. I refuse to be the same as anybody else. Like, I'm not here to follow the trend. I'm the trend setter. I'm not here to I'm the game changer. So there's so many things that are going on that are corrupt, that are wrong, that like, no. Now that I've recovered and I'm like at it, I didn't go through everything that I went through to become mediocre.
Right.
I'm here to take over the world. That's like the, Pinky and the Brain, take over the world, but really empower the world and make it more positive and uplifting, because I know how it is to be down. And that's the worst, when you are down and you think you have nobody. And when you start learning who you are and you start realizing who you actually are and you have self-mastery, you got this. Like, the world is your oyster. And I want to teach other people that, because everyone is so afraid to do anything. And if we were all afraid, we would be nowhere. And I have a good story to share, because people were afraid in their life. An analogy that I have is my niece, when she was learning how to walk, she would get up, fall, get up, fall, get up. I mean, this happened for like months. And I see her, and then one day I looked at her and she got up and fell, and I was like, in my head, Bubba, give up. You keep falling. And then I was like, pause for a minute. Hana, what if I did really say that to her? And I said, you know what? Don't try and walk anymore. Walking is not for you. Obviously, by humility. You are going to go in like a little chair and I'll just push you everywhere for the rest of your life. And that's how people are. Like when they fall, they don't get back up and do it again. They people enable them and say, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And they stop. But no, you have to keep going. You can do it. You can do it. Keep walking. You can walk. Oh, study. It's okay. Get up, girl. You can do it. You can do it.
That's very interesting because I believe, you know, that's really interesting you say that because, you know, a kid can keep trying and falling. And we keep encouraging that kid, no, get up and keep going, you know. But if we walk and fall, we don't even encourage ourselves one time. It's amazing how we give that encouragement to somebody else, you know, as a
But we
kid,
don't encourage
but we
ourselves.
don't even do that for ourselves. It's like, dude, like, hello. So that's such a good point. And I think, you know what, I think people go through things because and then when they come out of it, it's like you see the whole world and the whole people in a whole different way. It's
Totally.
almost like it's a click for you that your purpose is like, you know what, maybe I got a bigger purpose than what I originally thought. Maybe working for a Irvine company, family, kids, dog, a white picket fence, you know, that all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it takes a tragedy to really trigger that, you know. And whoever you talk to, and we're going to get to that, but whoever you talk to, it's like it turns out the worst experience of their life, it turns out to be like the best experience of their life, you know. So it's like it's amazing, but it's kind of true.
It's
So
100% true.
yes, so okay, so I know who you are now because I mean, like I said, your story is one to be shared, not stored. So I was excited to share your story.
Thank you.
So let's say somebody, if you wanted to do an autobiography of yourself, so who would you pick as an actress to play you?
You know, I was thinking this. I can't think because it has to be a very funny person.
I think of I think I can think of one person.
Who? Tell me.
Do you know of anybody at all? Can you think of one person at all or no?
No, because I don't. I want. I the only person I would think of, but it probably wouldn't work. Is what? Why can't I? It's the girl who's played Elaine on Seinfeld.
Oh
Louis,
my God, no.
because she's funny. That's
She
why I
is
was like,
funny, but yeah, no. I would say Jennifer Love Hewitt.
yeah. And she's got the humor.
She's got the humor. I've seen her actually in person too. She's pretty cool. Yeah, I
Oh,
would say
nice. See,
yeah,
someone
I would
who's
say her.
humble and nice and knows that the only way to grow is to give love and to encourage and motivate each other instead of,
Right?
yeah, you should have done better. Be better. Be better. Just do better.
There's that's the spirit, right? So I
Yep.
would say Jennifer Love Hewitt. All right. Let's say you have a magic wand. I grant you a magic wand and you can wipe out one experience or, you know, one event out of your life. What would it be and why?
I wouldn't wipe out anything because
Mm,
if I did, then I wouldn't be the person I am today.
wow.
And
That's so powerful right there.
yeah, I
And I
mean,
think that's the message.
that is I my the things that have happened in my life. I am writing a book because it's seriously when I'm talking about synchronicity and magic and the universe and quantum physics, like I'm living it. And when I live something and I realize, like, bro, yeah, this is real, together. Like, this is it. Like, because I'm the biggest skeptic. And when something is working, I'm like, oh my God, I have to share this with the rest of the world. Because once I realize self-discovery and self-mastery, game was over. So that's what I think.
I like that. I like that actually. That's really cool. I like that. So 15 years from now, family sitting around, they're talking about you. What are they talking about? What do they remember about you? Why?
What do they remember about me?
What would they be talking about you? What would they be remembering about you?
They would probably remember my perseverance,
Yeah.
my go after attitude, the not settling into the helping of others. The like I'm working on it, but like I have such a soft heart for animals and other people and kids that one of my main intentions is to open up a house or a school or something where orphans can be there, and kids, because there's so many kids out there that don't have families, that are just in unfortunate circumstances. So when my goal is to help those kids instead of bringing my own child. I know if I bring a child, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's my kid to get.
What
So
are they?
I don't want to do that. I want to help others. And
Yeah.
that's where I think my calling is to be able to build something to give back to all these kids and all the families that, need the support and help.
So I guess that would be the message, right? So if you wanted to leave the audience with one message, if you would, what would it wrap up to be?
It would be self-discovery. Learn yourself. Because once you start learning about yourself, that's where your power is.
How do you think you start to do that? How do you learn about yourself?
So for me, I thought, oh, I learn about yourself. Well, I know about myself to get shit. I let it. No, you have no idea who the hell you are. Let me tell you, because I thought I knew myself. I had no idea who the fuck I was. Excuse my language. Astrology and numerology. I am
Really?
telling you, it's my biggest passion is occult knowledge and the hidden knowledge that has been hidden from the masses because of things that have happened over time. And it's hidden because that's where the magic is. That once humans realize their true potential and they start realizing who they are, they're on fire. Like, I found out who I was through through numerology, through uh, astrology. Like, when I did my birth chart and I had my birth chart interpreted to me, I was like, oh my God, well, there you go. If someone could have told me this, I would have been like, oh, I get it now. Like, nothing would have been a surprise, because now I'm like, oh my God, now it all makes sense. No wonder this happened to me. No wonder I had like crazy people coming up to me. No wonder like crazy experiences happen to me. No wonder, I get in relationships that don't work out. Or no wonder, these things are the way that they are, because it's written. And you have the free will to become better or to fall back to your default mode where everyone is really in and they don't know it. And so when you get out of your default mode and you get into your potential, you can literally do anything you want. And the fact that I'm saying that should be so powerful, because I was the girl that had to be taught how to walk. I was the girl who had to be taught how to talk. I was the girl that was crushed and supposed to die. I was the girl that had so much glass shattered on my face, but there's nothing on with me. I'm the girl that had no surgeries. So if I'm
Against
telling
all
you
odds.
That's where it is. You have to find your power, and I promise you that's where it is.
I
Because
know
if I
that
could do
Dr.
it and
Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that.
oh yeah, Joe Dispenza. Oh, I read his books. Like all you want to know what to read? I have all these books that I read. When I'm telling you I'm a nerd, like I'm always at home.
So give us 2 books.
So the power. Okay, so the power of human nature.
Power of Human Nature. Okay.
And another one would be oh, what is it? The point system of getting better. Hold on, let me write it down.
I just actually started to watch his stuff, and I love his stuff.
Joe Dispenza is amazing. When I first started learning, I started watching his stuff and reading his books. Also, William Wright. Another one that's really, really good. Did you watch The Secret? Three Magic Words.
Yes.
3 Magic Words is really good. Dolores Cannon's books are really good.
I know you post that stuff all the time with Dolores.
Yeah, and because I did the quantum healing hypnosis too.
You love her.
Because I did the technique. Yeah. I got it done on me, and I was like, dude, why are people not doing this? Like, it just blows my mind that there's so many resources to help us.
There are so many. These days, you cannot use that as an excuse.
You can't.
I didn't know. Like, you can't say I didn't know. Like, that doesn't even work anymore. Like,
yeah, it's like we even have
like
Google.
a 4-year-old.
Like,
no.
You want to dumb yourself down? Google it. That's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's this. Yeah. All right. Last question. Let's see. Are you ready? My surprise question. I didn't give you this question.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So if I, for this question, let's say, what was one question that you were hoping I would ask, but I didn't ask? You're like, I'm hoping that he would ask about this. That question always gets everybody.
I think you've asked everything.
Really? Holy cow, that's pretty good.
I think
your message is so powerful. It just, I freaking love that. Because I know you before, like, you know what I mean?
So how is it different? So now I would love to hear because, I like hearing.
My take on you?
Yes. Give it to me. Give it.
Do we have enough time?
Give it the truth.
Well, you know what? You, honestly, from day one, you were impressive. From day one, you had this vibe about you, this energy about you. I know when we were introduced together, I didn't even want to meet you, and Mike said like, oh, you gotta meet. And it was in a professional setting, of course. I want to make that clear, right? We don't want to. But from day one, it was like you got this vibe, and you didn't talk about all these languages that you speak too, by the way. But so before the accident, I knew you. I mean, I knew you were gonna be a go-getter. I mean, that's somebody you can't feed that into somebody after a coma. You know what I mean? You can go through a tragic story and you can wake up, but you can't feed that go-getter. I mean, we have a lot of people that go through a coma and then go through a depression and end up not so good. So we can't contribute that to your tragedy, but we can contribute that to you, like who you are. Like you've always been that entrepreneur, always punctual. I mean, you had me organized with my schedule, I mean, I was money in the bank, so I was lost without you. So
thank you.
All that I think you've just kind of lit a fire underneath all that. Like it's like a series of things about you that you just lit a fire underneath. And I think I can't say I'm sorry you went through that. I don't want to even say I feel bad. It's unfortunate that you've gone through that era of your life was that experience. It's unfortunate, but like you said, you wouldn't trade that worst experience with anything else, right? Even though 10 minutes before the accident, everything was amazing, right? So you wouldn't even trade it with 10 minutes before the accident, which that alone should just blow everybody's mind away, how powerful it can be to go through a tragic, tragic experience and be able to say, oh, no, I'll go ahead and keep that in my resume. I don't want to erase that. That is powerful. That you cannot teach that. You can't trait that stuff. You know what I mean? So to go through that and come out and just see this fire underneath you, I think it's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
I'm super pumped. Like the first time you shared that story with me, because I had read, like you said, I was one of those guys. I had read some stuff. Somebody said, hey, did you hear what happened to Tina? That kind of a thing. I'm like, what? Like that kind of a thing. But I never knew until you sent me that video, and I was just blown away. I've thought about it from the day you sent it to me. So yeah, so I that's the story to share, because most people go through so much tragedy, especially these days, and they just pump the brakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hey, life has enough brakes of its own. So, I like you said, this is not the kind of time to kind of pump the brakes. That's kind of like I always say, stories are not to be stored. They're supposed to be shared. You go through the stuff you go through because you're supposed to tell that.
And my lessons, so my tragedies, my experiences are not for me. They're for everyone else.
Right.
Because something I'm going through is going to be exactly what someone else needs to hear, to be like, oh my God, that's so me. And that's it. I'm done. So if I can help one person be like, no, I can do it. Because I'm like, dude, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah. Like you just have to go after it and know that there's nothing to fear. Because the one thing that I never ever wanted to be is looking down and someone going, oh, yeah, she's alone rest of her life. This happened. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever feel sorry for me, because that's not what I'm about.
And I feel like that's just so powerful, because sometimes it takes that, to wake us up. I always tell people scars are stories. Like people try to hide their scars. Like I have over 200 stitches in my body, but they're like stories. Like, what do you want me to tell you? And I think it's wonderful. I think you're a freaking rock star. I've always been a big fan of you, and I think you're doing big.
Likewise.
You're about to do bigger things too.
So me to be on.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Are you kidding? This story had to be. I've been wanting to tell you, like, to let me kind of share your story and bring you on, but it just worked out. It's perfect timing.
It's perfect. And maybe we can share this and other people can start hearing, and maybe they can become more empowered.
Absolutely. I'm gonna load this up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Then I'll send you the link. I'll tag you so you can start tagging people.
Oh, perfect. I would
the
love
YouTube
that.
too. You can just send that link to people if you want.
Perfect.
So Tina, anything else last minute you want to say? Leave a thought, a message, inspire people, anything last? I mean, not that you haven't inspired enough.
I just want everyone, just believe in yourself, and you literally can do anything you want to do. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
So you're saying you can do
anything.
Got it.
Did I make that clear? Anything. On the fly, no. Maybe you could fly a plane, but anything.
That's awesome. Thank you, Tina, so much.
You.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you
again. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Much love.
Bye.